You want to start by saying your name and occupation?
My name is Shana Shepherd. I'm the Assistant Director of the ACE program here at the University of Pikeville.
Okay, and would you say communications has played a big role in getting your job?
Absolutely. My job involves 90% or more communication.
Okay, can you describe your current role and how communication has played a part in your day-to-day work?
As an Assistant Director, I oversee several things within the program and help the Director, of course, facilitate all those things. And also, I'm working towards my LCSW to be a licensed clinical social worker, so I spend my time daily communicating with people, doing therapy with students, and just day-to-day things.
So you would say everybody can benefit from a little bit of communication?
Absolutely. I think communication is in every field.
Okay, so what really inspired you to pursue your career?
Um, Funny story, I started out thinking that I was supposed to be a teacher, an elementary teacher. Went to school here for elementary education. Some issues happened, I don't feel like that was my calling. It led me back to UPike, and I love helping college students navigate their lives in the transition from high school to college and just navigating through their 4 years and ensuring that they are successful. I love helping students who were once like me.
So what would you consider the most important communication skill in the position that you were in?
Definitely active listening and compassion, and being able to pick up on emotions and identify what people need in that moment. And most of the time, students need just a listening ear and someone to be supportive.
Okay. And then, let's see. How do you navigate difficult conversations or conflict in your work? So if somebody came with a conflicting conversation or something that's kind of a sensitive subject, how do you navigate that?
We'll cut it out, yeah.
I'm so sorry I have to interrupt. I just didn't want to make this decision. She said, is it okay that the headshots are outside by the Pikeville thing?
Yeah.
This thing, okay.
That's good.
Yeah, she said that's
Get
fine.
out of
I'm
here.
so sorry.
It's okay. You can edit that, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. What did I ask?
How do I deal with
Okay.
conflicting?
All right, let me re-ask it. So
Okay.
Okay. So how do you navigate difficult conversations or conflict in your work?
I try to always listen to the other person's point of view. I think that's important because sometimes we just try to say that we're right, and we have all the answers, but in fact, you have to be patient and let the other person, express their feelings and emotions, and you can always take something from that. And if you listen to them, then I think there's always compromise that you can make with someone for that conflict.
Okay. Can you share an example of a communication challenge that you have faced in your years at UPike and how you overcame it?
There are issues sometimes with explaining certain students. Sometimes personalities clash. So sometimes, sense of humor or different things come into play. And especially if a student is coming from a background where they've never had to deal with a financial aid issue or they don't understand the processes. Sometimes there's a communication barrier there when you're using the college terms that maybe they don't understand. And so that would probably be one of the biggest things I faced.
Okay. Let's see here. And then how has technology changed and helped or damaged the communication in your field?
Well, honestly, when I first started, social media wasn't as big. I started here in 2005, so that was just the beginning of Facebook. It has helped in the way that I communicate with students because I know I can get a message easily out through social media. However, I've seen it be very damaging to students, their personal lives and comparison to each other. I think it's done a lot of damage maybe to self-esteem and things like that. I've seen that, and students being able to communicate in person has changed drastically. They would rather have a text conversation than come and do an in-person conversation. So I think there's been both positive and negative aspects of technology.
Okay. So how have you been able to adapt to that change in the communication, like, field?
I feel like that I utilize technology more with students. Like I know that I can text a student and they will answer immediately. I never make a phone call to a student unless I'm desperately trying to get them in that moment. Because I realize that that's not how they communicate. So I've learned to adapt to their communication methods.
Okay. So how do crucial differences impact communication in your field, and how do you address them?
Everyday things are changing, especially with the implementation of AI and ChatGPT. So I see a lot of students use it in their papers. I have used it to help me with some things, not gonna lie. So it's constantly evolving, and it's constantly evolving how students communicate with each other through AI, through different platforms, especially with TikTok. I can use TikTok language, I guess they're familiar with videos to make those connections with students and really be into the type of technology that students are in to make that connection with them.
Okay. So in what ways has communication shaped your career path? Like, how has it paved the way for you?
It definitely has. I will tell you one of my biggest things, especially being a social worker, is my job started. I was the academic coordinator in this program, so I was just dealing with grades and the academic portion. But as I realized that students' grades are usually poor because there's an underlying issue. There's either a family problem, there's relationship issues, there's financial issues. There's so much more than just a bad grade. It's not just academics, and that's what really led me to be a social worker, so I could address those other underlying issues, because you have to address the student holistically before you can fix any academic problem, or they're not going to be successful.
Right. So what advice would you give students who are seeking to align, like, their vocational goals with their communication work?
Definitely, you have to be a good communicator. That's going to be your key in any position that you have. Being able to communicate with your boss, your coworkers, that's going to make everything so much easier. And actively listen to someone, just so you'll know what the projects you need to complete, at time frames and all of that. I mean, communication is literally the key to everything, and being a compassionate, patient person with any job that you have.
Right. So we've only got two more here.
Okay.
What communication trends or changes do you see shaping your field in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think that AI is definitely going to change a lot of how we students are doing assignments, and in the social work field, we are going towards more online platforms of therapy, like doing, especially COVID changed that, where people could get their get access to mental health services online. So I think that's going to be the biggest change that will happen. So someone can get mental health access in another state, just through doing telehealth services, and all that has changed. I think that will be the biggest thing that changes.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of communication advice, what would it be?
Wow, that's a good one. I think especially when I was in college, to listen more, to listen and not listen to answer, listen to actually listen and get an understanding for what is happening, and not to be so shy that I do have something to say, because believe it or not, I used to be really shy. And so that has changed a lot, and just that I do have a voice, and a lot of times I didn't think what I had to say mattered, but it really does. Everyone has something to say and is important in any type of communication, so I think that would be it.
Well, I think that wraps it up.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank